kind of the big one. The one that was unexpected, at least for me, I more so on the years side of things. You know, the Browns gave him a decent contract too. So they felt that it was very valuable to get this guy back, and that's, of course, Za'darius Smith. So I don't have too much to say on this. We kind of talked about it a little bit, you know, when we talked about should the Browns re-sign him, should he come back. Za'darius Smith was, I thought, incredibly valuable for the Browns. That's a guy who is a veteran edge rusher, and I think ultimately at the end of the day, what got this deal done and what made the Browns say, hey, we're not just going to give 1 year to you, we're going to give you 2, and we're going to pay you decently well, is they've been looking for that running mate with Myles Garrett for a long, long time. Jadeveon Clowney, who was the guy? Olivier Vernon was solid going back there. I mean,
Olivier Vernon.
yes,
Oh, dude, that
dude.
takes me back. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that takes me back. I mean, we had
Yeah.
Emmanuel Ogba there,
Yep.
obviously Jadeveon too. Like, oh man, we we had a healthy
Mm-hmm.
rotation. Oh, who was it? Carl Nassib,
Carl
Nate
Nassib.
Orchard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, even though he was more of a depth guy, right? But
Yeah.
like, just like these names, like they're flooding back to me now.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Yep. Yeah, but we've had Jannard Avery. We've had
Oh, Chenard.
we've
Oh,
had a ton of different guys that we have tried to pair Miles with, and some of them better than others. Za'Darius Smith was very productive for the Browns. He was a guy, maybe didn't get the sacks, but he got in the quarterback's face. He got the pressures. He was fast off the line of scrimmage. All those sorts of things, incredibly valuable. Helped Myles Garrett out drastically. Defensive Player of the Year. And, for Za'Darius to come back, I think, again, this is just them basically saying, like, hey, we've been looking for this. We feel we found it. Let's keep you around for 2 years. Um, and I think we'll talk about the Quentin Jefferson signing and what kind of that means as well. But in terms of the versatility, I mean, the Browns, we're damn near set on the defensive line. Like, I still think we should draft somebody, but at the same time, it's like, oof, where do they fit in? Because it's like, you look at it, Za'Darius Smith is back, Okoronkwo is there, Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, Isaiah Thomas is still floating around there somewhere. And then at defensive tackle, you now have Shelby Harris back, Mo Hurst back, Siaki Ika's there. Again, we'll talk about
Alvin
Quentin Jefferson,
Tomlinson.
Dalvin Tomlinson. So, the Browns' defensive line was great last year. Great. And essentially what you've seen this offseason is the Browns come out and say, yeah, we're going to run it back. We're going to run it back. You lost Jordan Elliott. You replaced him. But for the most part on the defensive line, the Browns, they got everybody back. And it was good. It was good last year. And you're giving Jim Schwartz the same tools he had to work with last year. So, in terms of Za'Darius Smith, I was surprised. I didn't think at his age we would extend him 2 years, but hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. He was great for the Browns. I think as long as he's healthy, he's a very impactful player. And again, same thing at defensive tackle. On the edge rusher side of things, the Browns have a great, great rotation. So much so that I would say you can even give Miles some breaks now and keep Za'Darius out there on the field with Alex Wright or something along those lines. Like, I think there's a lot. There's a lot of versatility. So, Tristan, I was a little bit more long-winded than I wanted to be, but Za'Darius Smith coming back to the Cleveland Browns, you really wanted this. I was comfortable if we lost him, but happy that we got him back. We did. 2-year deal, paid him decently well. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm obviously very happy. Um, you know, it's weird the things that your memory, like your mind remembers. Derek, you know, eh, when it comes to Zedarius, right? Do you remember the first snap of like our first defensive snap of the year last year, regular season against the Bengals?
I do. Because Za'Darius Smith flew off the line of scrimmage. And I remember I was at opening day sitting up there with Michael Cozy while he was blowing the wind in the stadium. And I'm just kidding. But I was sitting up there and I was like, okay, we're about to see what this is gonna look like. And first play, Za'darius Smith just flew, and I was like,
Hmm.
okay, yep, all right, this is gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's crazy that we can remember that, but yeah, um, yeah. His first play of the season got right off line of scrimmage, beat his guy really quickly. Joe Burrow, I think, was doing a play action pass, and as soon as he looks up, Zarius is in his face, and Joe throws it incomplete. But that was that pretty much was symbolic in my eyes of Za'Darius's year. Like he did great things. He got the quarterback pressured. He killed a play, but it just there's not a statistic,
Yeah.
right? Like a counting stat for it. His pressures were really good. Um, in the run game, he was very solid. Was a very reliable person out there for us. He fits into this D line, not only schematically from what, Jim Schwartz wants to do, uh, but personality wise, again, I highly recommend any of you who have not listened to it, Shelby Harris and Za'Darius Smith, the interview that they had with Nathan Zagura, like it was a very, very good interview because both guys were really laid back, like very much like talked it up a bit, like had fun, but also like they understood what this team was doing, what we're about, and they understood what was going on and they valued it. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm happy he's back. I'm very happy he's back. He's just a reliable player. And not only that, but we don't have to worry, excuse me, about uh, you know, we don't have to worry about, hey, what does Alex Wright as a starter look like? What does Obo Okoronkwo with an increased role look like? Like, no, those guys can go back to doing what they were great at last year, and they can improve on it. Like Obo last year before he got hurt, like he had 7 sacks. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was amazing. Alex Wright finished off the year 5 games in a row, 5 sacks, like a sack in each one. So the depth in the rotation that we've got with defensive end, um, it's impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive, and I'm super super happy with the personnel that we've got there, and I'm glad that we brought it all together. And if we were gonna look at this D line, we were gonna say, right, lots there.
Yeah.
What could we possibly add? You can even reference this to the whole team, right? Because I really only think there's maybe one, maybe two teeny tiny little holes that even if the Browns don't cover, they still have an amazing chance at winning a championship. Or I shouldn't say amazing, but comparable
They're
to all the other
contenders.
teams in the
Yes.
NFL. Yes, they have a good chance of winning a championship. And one of those is another true run stopping D tackle. Because and the reason why I say that in having somebody that's really good against the run to put next to Dalvin on first down is because when this defense was again playing at its best on first downs, they made it 2nd and 10, second and
Yeah.
8, 2nd and 13. They when they won first down and essentially they let their pass rushers cook, right? That's when this defense was at its peak, and they did it really, really, really well last year. And that's the only spot where I kind of say like, you know what, I want somebody that can be like one of the best run stoppers. Like even if he's not a good pass rusher, I don't care about pass rushing. I want a guy that I can throw in on first down. He gets a run stop for me, and then he sits on the bench until the defense has to go back out there again. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because it's an important role. And maybe Ika is ready for that. And I just don't have enough trust in him because I do believe that he will turn good. But I just don't know if he's ready for that role. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. But
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's nice to see this D line is returning and just seeing how damn good it is, man. Ah, dude,
Yeah.
last year was so fun. Like you said it last year before we went into the season to like this defense was gonna be fun. Just enjoy it, right?
Yep.
Because we don't know how long it will last, and it's gonna last another year. So it's I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.